People have been coming here for 27 years, and every time they come back, they're like, ask if it's the same owner, which it is. It's like country home cooking. Everything is homemade, everything. Soups are made fresh every day. Appetizers are pierogies. We have potato and cheddar, spinach and ricotta, or plum. Seafood gruyere. It's a combination of shrimp, scallops, crab meat, served in a gruyere cheese, served over a bed of rice. Stuffed pork tenderloin. It's stuffed with a breadcrumb dressing, and it's served in a Madeira sauce. A lot of locals, a lot of people from out of town. When there's events in the city, will come here to eat. Lots of regulars. Still, a lot of them order the same thing that they've ordered since they first started coming here. Because once they come and eat and they see how good it is, they can't believe they've ever came or even knew that the place was here. This is like a well-kept secret restaurant, but we want everybody to come down.
All right, so Coco, what is cooking at the Genesse Depot?
Everything good, Amanda. I go to Genesse. I've been going for years. The reason I have been going like this is because the food is so consistent. I haven't been there and had a bad meal yet. You know, you get that taste in your mouth where you want something to be what you want it to be. Whenever I go to Genesse Depot, it is what I want it to be. The atmosphere is just more like a family kind of outing, not really too frou-frou. I just love it. I love it. Right. That's all I can say.
I think that's an important aspect of any restaurant, especially what restaurateurs really strive for, is to have things be consistent. If you go to Gibson's and you have a steak, you want it to be the same way. If you go to Genesse Depot for something, you want it to be the same all the time.
Exactly. And the quality of the food, Chef Dennis is very consistent with what he does, what he presents, and the dishes are simple. You don't have the stacked presentations. You don't have a lot of garnish. All very simple home-style cooking.
Now, what do you think about the menu? It's pretty broad, I think. They have everything from like Creole shrimp to, London broil to Peking duck. I mean, it's a pretty diverse menu.
Well, he passed the test for me, being the man of Polish descent that I am. And I had the appetizer. I saw pierogi, and 3 types of pierogi.
Right.
Now, of course, that would sometimes make the Polish descent human being that I am run away from that, because no one can make a pierogi like my grandmother.
And?
It was excellent. He passed the test.
Okay.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I was curious as to where the little old lady was in the back with the babushka cutting things up, because
Did you see her? Did you find
was
her?
just like at home. I mean, it was just like my grandmother used to make, and that was one of my first observations with the food. I went, wow, this is good. Yeah. I mean, it was just superb. And then finally, I think I ordered the shrimp. How do you say that cheese, Coco?
That
G cheese.
Yeah.
Wow, I was right up there with you. When you talk about just excellent food, just excellent overall food, I couldn't have been more pleased.
So one of the other interesting things about Genesse Depot is that they have a BYOB policy, which is, Dennis?
I think it's great. I love little things like that in Chicago restaurants where they don't have a liquor license and you can bring your own alcohol. So it's great, whether you've got a special kind of beer or a wine that you just bought, which is a lot of times, you said at Gibson's, you turn it over and you're like, oh my gosh, look at all these different wines. I don't know what to do. And you kind of feel like, should I ask or whatever? And then, to keep the price down, typically in a restaurant, is it like 3 times the price?
Yeah, typically in restaurants, whatever the wine costs the restaurant, they mark it up 3 times. It's pretty typical. Yeah, some restaurants in the city, it depends on their policy. You need to call and ask when making a reservation, but you can bring your own wine in if you have a special bottle or something in mind that you want to, if you're going to a restaurant and you have a favorite dish, you can bring your own wine.
Even if it's not BYOB.
Right.
If it's your anniversary and to say, this is the wine that we had on, on our wedding.
That's a good example.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. When I would call and ask the restaurants, because typically they do charge a corkage fee when you bring your own wine. It can be anywhere from $15 to $25 at some places.
That's not where I drink. Not to be Mr. Negative at all, but a couple things that did bother me about the Genesse Depot. Number one, it was very well lit. I like a little more intimacy when I eat, just a tad down there. The other thing that did bother me a bit too is when I got there were at least 10 open tables and one side closed, and I had to wait almost 15 minutes to get in.
Oh, wow.
And I think they just didn't, and because of the way the design of the restaurant is, nobody saw us.
No one saw you.
No one saw us, and then when they noticed us, of course, they took care of us, and quite well. Our waitress was fun.
Okay.
She was a lot of fun. Again, the service was good.
The last thing I really have to say is the dessert is to die for. Oh my God. That night I went, he had raspberry creme brulee. And this is the first time in my life I've ever done this, but I ordered 2 of them.
All right.
And I ate 2 of them, and they were great.
Now, Coco, this is your favorite restaurant, so give us a summary of it.
If you're into good food and consistency, Genesse Depot is the place to go.
Great. And Tom, what about for you?
Well, again, the atmosphere was warm. You know, the food was absolutely excellent.
Good.
You hit it right on the mark. I was very impressed with the food, and the wait staff was fun. So I would definitely go back to
Good.
it.
All right.
Dennis, what about you?
I thought it had a great look to it, and I liked the fact that it had lots of different things you could order, that it's not the typical, this is what it is. You know, if you want pierogi, and then you can also have chicken, what is it? Yeah, I should have ordered the filet mignon so I could pronounce it. But it was very comfortable, and I'll definitely go back again.
Good.
Well, you can see Coco eating 2 creme brulees at the Genesse Depot, which is at 3736 North Broadway in Chicago. Their phone number is 773-528-6990. They are open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner, and the average check for dinner without drinks, which obviously you bring yourself, is $18 a person.